We're here today to celebrate the life of our dear friend, family member, community member, mentor, teacher, Ivor BOWEN. He was, I think to all of us here, a treasured member of the community, and for me, he was one of the people in this community who had the secret of what this community is about. I was looking for his phone number, which wasn't in my phone, about 2.5 weeks ago, and I googled his name, and a whole list of things came up that I had no idea about. Movies and a whole career that I had just no idea. You know, to me, Ivor was the cobber who I played pool with, was the bloke who I acted in Commedia dell'arte with, and here was this amazingly sort of laureated career that I had no idea. And when he came in to talk to me about doing a workshop for the young people in Daylesford making films, I said, man, I had no idea like how much you had done, and he brushed it aside. He had no interest whatsoever in talking about that or you know, kind of bathing in that light.
I feel very privileged to be standing here. I found out this morning that this is the first time that all of Ivor's children have come together, which I think is extremely special. If he could see his children here surrounded by his bigger family, his friends, he would be a very happy man. For this dedication to Ivor, I speak as a friend, and hopefully for his friends who can't be here. After I received Sam's call to inform me of Ivor's passing, I cleaned my dining room table and created a place of dedication. I adorned it with flowers from my garden, and then I lit a candle to light his way. Following the creation of my table altar, I went into the garden and thought of all the things I could remember about Ivor. Memories. I found it interesting that I could only remember good thoughts about him. That is a wonderful thing. I've only known Ivor for the latter part of his life, his Daylesford period, and found him to be a quiet and unassuming man. From the time I knew him, his main work in life seemed to have been based on the concept of service. And as I observed, service to his community. This service in one way or another always seemed unconditional. Over our numerous coffees at the Red Star Cafe, we would often discuss our various love jobs. Love jobs here meaning those activities we do for free, such as Ivor's recent movie, where he filmed many local artists, or his volunteering work with the primary school, or his annual Play for Words in winter, or the work he did annual for free in the South Street event in Ballarat, to name but a few. It is sad to think that we as a community and friends were not given the time at the end to tell him how we appreciated his selfless contributions. Ivor's quiet type of service was maybe not an achievement which resulted in great changes in the human condition. It was maybe not an achievement which wins any awards or valor. However, his quiet kind of service and achievement is the stuff which makes the world go round. It is, I feel, the highest achievement possible. Giving service, selfless service. For me, that will be the strongest memory of Ivor. And like these gifts he bestowed upon us, we learn from.
I remember the first time I met Ivor. I had been performing as part of Words in Winter, and he came along in the role that he is in this town as town archivist and came and filmed it for us. And I remember this tall, striking man with a long brown coat, and I went up to him after, and from that point on we sort of became collaborators. And I found in Ivor, so I got him dressed in drag pretty quickly. We acted together first under the auspice, Sebastian and Ivor and I came together under the auspice of the Wombat Theatre, and we had a ball. We had so much fun rehearsing together, and it was from that point that I was like, right, you're a natural. I'm getting you on stage as much as possible, and I'm working with you as much as possible.
Devon may have been the first person around here to get Ivor into a dress, but I was the first person to get his trousers off. About 15 years ago, I was wandering the streets of Daylesford looking for somebody to be a model for this image I had in my head, and I saw this big guy standing there, and I walked up and I said, "Look, please don't punch my head in, but I'd really like to see you in your underpants." And Ivor turned around and said, "You know, what is this?" I said, "Oh, look, I'm a painter, I've got this idea." He's like, "Oh yes, I know you. You're my new neighbour. I've just moved in next to you." It's like, "Oh, cool, okay." So we went straight away, we went down to our house, walked into the studio, he looked at some of my work, he said, "It's bloody marvellous. This is great stuff." Took his clothes off there and then, in his wife fronts, and I worked on this painting for some time. There's an image of it here, I'll stick it on the wall over there. It's a big painting, it needed to be. It's like 5 metres long, and in the middle, there's Ivor standing there in his wife fronts. And the image we were going for was an Australian farmer with the red kind of slightly burnt arms and slightly burnt legs in a faux Aboriginal pose. And he did it so well, and he pulled it off so well. And from that moment on, Ivor was like a grandfather to me. The grandfather I never had. He is our communal grandfather. I love the man to bits. He played jazz to me. He took me to AA meetings. He looked after us. He was a wonderful man. He looked after my children. And I know Jane, my wife, loves him as well. He's a beautiful man. Love to everybody.